Hi, this is Rob Gegner. How's it going? So today I'm going to talk about what had to happen, what had to come into place for me to be here right now talking to you, for you to be in the current situation that you are in your life. A zillion and one things had to come together, being in the right place at the right time with the right people, and if one thing was out of place, everything would be affected. Our lives are kind of like a choose your own adventure novel. Remember those when you were a kid? I used to love those. So you can make a decision. You either do one thing or another. You either turn to page 57, and when you get there, you get attacked by ninjas, or you turn to page 174, and you can save the princess and fall in love and live happily ever after. That's kind of like our lives, but we can't go back and redo it. We can only start from right now, but we always have that choice to turn to certain pages to make certain decisions and choices in our life that will affect everything. But if things don't line up in the right way, then you can completely go in a different direction than you're intending to. So, for example, in my life, I was thinking about this and reflecting about it the other day. Like, how am I even here? How do I have all these opportunities? So, the story starts back in 2010 when I was working a job. It was not a very good job. It was actually temping. It wasn't really a job at all. It was like a temp job at an insurance company in New Jersey, and I was doing a lot of different stuff. I was basically a receptionist, letting people in and out, greeting them. If I was lucky, I'd get to open up some mail, sort through some files and shred some papers and stuff. And it wasn't very fulfilling. And I'm, as you may or may not know, I'm a writer and a musician, and I'm very creative. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I like being in that environment because there's not a lot of responsibility. I'm not. I don't have to do a lot. I could just sit at this desk and be creative and like work on my novel or my screenplay or whatever it was. And so that was cool. But I was still kind of floating life, whether I realized it or not. I was floating around. I wasn't very healthy at all. I mean, I was healthy, but I wasn't eating the right stuff. I was eating junk food all the time, and I was probably overweight. And I wasn't happy. I wasn't fulfilled. I didn't have something to fill me up with a purpose in life. So I got this random text message from my mother telling me about a job, a full-time job. It was actually a job fair, and she got it from her coworker. It was her coworker's husband's company. Well, he didn't own it. He worked for them, and it was like a customer service type company selling face creams over the phone. Although I didn't know it at the time, and I was like very resisting. I was like, I like my temp job. I like doing this. I like floating around. So I didn't want to do it, and I put it off and put it off, and the date was coming closer and closer. So she kept getting on me and nagging me about it. And I was like, fine, I don't want to go to this thing, but I'll go. Whatever. I'll check this thing out. And it was in New Jersey, in Jersey City, this big hotel, hundreds of people applying for a certain number of positions, and you had to go through a certain number of interviews and then wait until the end of the day. It was like an 8-hour thing or whatever, to find out if you actually got hired for the job or not. So I went through the whole rigmarole and ended up getting the job. I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. So I ended up starting the job in February of 2010. Yeah. Um, so it was cool at first because everyone was very very young. They were hip. They were cool people. It was a fun environment, and the job wasn't that great. It was just they would send out these 30-day risk-free trials of face cream. If you don't know what that is, it's not a free sample, which most people think it is. So you get this cream, you use it on your face, and if you don't like it, you have to send back the empty bottle within 30 days and not get charged for it. So these old ladies across the country were under the impression that it was free, and they were getting charged for it. And I'm the one that they called to bitch out and to complain to, and so I had to deal with all their hostility and aggression, and smooth out the conversation. And my job was also to upsell them. So I didn't mind it at first because everyone was like, "Oh, we're cool, we're a family, we're gonna buy you free pizza all the time and whatever." But little by little, the job started to get to me, and there was a guy there who was a month. He came in a month after me. His name was Frank Rojas. I really didn't like him when I first met him. He was like this hotshot guy, always reading leadership books, It's like, who does this guy think he is? He comes in and smokes the competition, selling more than me, and I'm not a salesperson. I don't like sales, but he was doing a better job, and I felt intimidated. So time goes by, and the job just wears on me, man. Like the stress, I was just so stressed out by everything, and I start getting sick. I was fatigued, headaches, massive anxiety, massive depression, which I've never dealt with before. I didn't even know the meaning of the word depression. So all these different things were happening to me, and I didn't know why. Top doctors were like, you should go see a psychiatrist because there's nothing clinically wrong with you. And that was very frustrating. And so it was a year of going through that until June of 2011. No, sorry. June of 2012. June of 2010 of that year, 2010, I was diagnosed with Lyme disease. And I didn't go into the woods. I didn't know what the hell Lyme disease was. I was not an avid outdoors person. And so I was like, oh, fine. I'll just take antibiotics and I'll be good. I'll get it out of my system. So it took me 2 years. I was on antibiotics for 2 years. 2 years, and that messed me up more than anything. I was on IV for antibiotics, and that really wasn't doing anything. So anyway, fast forward to 2011. January of 2011. That is when my friend Frank Rojas, who became a really good friend of mine, he didn't have to, remember? He didn't have to come up to me and pretty much change my life. So he came up to me, he knew what I was going through, he knew that I was dealing with Lyme disease, and he offered me these health products that I started to use. And again, everything is a choice, so all of this stuff almost never happened. Almost never got that job. I almost never even went. I almost never met Frank Rojas. But he's the one who actually has a definite impact on my life and had helped me to change my life since then. So I started using these products, enzymes, probiotics, green, powders and all this stuff, and it was amazing. I lost 25 pounds in the first couple months, and then after that I steadily was progressing and managing and dealing with the Lyme disease. So that opened up a whole new door, a whole new chapter in my life, where I actually started to get interested in holistic health and wellness. I, through other friends, through that company that he introduced me to, it was called Your Health, YOR Health, I discovered this school. It's called the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and it's to become a health coach. So I'm actually currently involved in this program to become a health coach. And then randomly I found this modality. It's called Access Consciousness, the bars, by touching 32 points on the head to release energy around thoughts and beliefs. It's an energy process, and I almost never found that. And through that, I met a gentleman named Avram Gonzalez, who turned me on to this company called Empower Network, which I'm doing this 90-day blog challenge. Actually, that is the blogging platform that I'm using, and I see a tremendous amount of opportunity, not only to share my story every day with all of you and to just express to you what I'm going through, to show you that I'm a real person. I'm not this whatever person who's sitting on a cloud somewhere telling you what to do. I am going through real struggles and real challenges, and hopefully inspiring some of you to take action in your life, and you can see it in real time, and also make a very good income through this blogging platform called the Empower Network. So that is what I was thinking about. How did I get here? So everything almost never happened. I almost never took that job. I almost never met that gentleman. I almost never kind of acted on all these opportunities. So everything in my life started to take shape and take form after I made a clear decision that I wanted to change. So take a look at me right now. I'm a vegan. I'm relatively healthy. I'm getting healthier. I have massive opportunities because the companies that I'm involved in, Your Health and Empower Network, and the energy process called Access Consciousness, they're very, very unknown right now. No one knows about them. But I have a vision. I see into the future. I see that they're going to become multi-million, billion, trillion-dollar companies because that is this type of industry. Like, people need wellness and health and holistic and energy and all that stuff because there's a plethora, there's an abundance of sick people out there, and they need this type of stuff to get to where they want to be in their lives. So that's where I'm at right now. Before, I was out drinking all the time. Couldn't even tell you, partying all the time, eating fast food. It was crazy. It was I was on a path for destruction pretty much. And if I didn't get sick, and if I didn't meet the people and make the decisions that I have done and made, then I don't know, I could be 50, 60 years old, still broke, still sick, maybe dying of cancer or liver disease or who knows, maybe the Lyme disease would have gotten out of control, or I would have come down with something else. But anyway, I'm just grateful for having been sick and viewing that as a wake-up call to explore other holistic modalities and making decisions in my life to progress. So that was kind of long-winded. I apologize if that irritated you in any way. So keep posted on this blog, and I will see you in the future.